Good morning, cultists! In our previous episode, we left things off after reading a letter from Magar Varn, who literally just sent us hopes and prayers after we dealt with our exploding peasant problem. Gee, thanks Magar. Really appreciate it. In any case, I think we have some time to do some kingdom management stuff, so I guess we'll do that for now. Let's start things off by finishing Lindsay's Wise Man project. Sure. I think we have, Regongar working on the new guard headquarters, and I think, what else? I guess we could do some ranking up stuff. Ooh, maybe? Or, oh, right. So I think we should probably prioritize community, military, and divine. Yeah. Wait, we can rank up our curator stuff too. Oh. What was the threshold for this? I think it was 20, right? For rank ups? I think so. Alright, well, Lindsay, let's end your wise man thing. But hopefully, you won't fail on me, please. Alright, I'm just gonna set an anchor point for our possible alternate future. Sure, and... Atta girl. Very nice. The scientist accepted the advisor's offer to aid the barony. His work will surely promote the magical arts in these lands. Great. So we get 3 to arcane and culture. And... Right. Lindsay, can you please start working on this? So that's gonna take 14 days. Sure. Alright, before we skip more time, I'm actually thinking that maybe... To claim this, that's gonna take, a lot of BP that we don't have. So maybe we should just rank up one of these. But before I do that though, I've been advised to go speak to the Kayesi twins again, so I'm gonna do that before we waste more time. And I think we might as well also... Oh shoot, I did not organize my inventory in between episodes. Really sorry about that. I'm just gonna quickly drop some stuff off here. I don't think we need the braces of armor anymore. I mean, maybe we'll keep the braces of armor +3. Oh, right. It's never organized properly. Gotcha. No, I think we're okay. Vest of 100 pockets. Oh. I forgot that we had that thing. My bad. Don't need those. We'll keep the ancestral dwarven shield just in case that's a little bit better. Headband of inspired wisdom. I think we can probably give that to Harem, yes? Yes, most definitely. Because Tristan's got the one to improve his channeling stuff. Sorry, the vest of 100 pockets. +2 studded leather. Sorry. Maybe I give that to Lindsay? Where is she? Yeah, I'm really sorry. I should have done this in between episodes. My bad. +5 to trickery. But it does lower her AC a little bit. Let's see. Well, I think we normally use Knock Knock for that stuff, so maybe we should give it to him. But I think, yeah, that lowers his AC, so maybe not. Dang nabbit. Alright, fine. We'll just keep it as is, and we'll just drop off this other stuff that we definitely don't need. Thank you. I'll keep one of these just in case, but otherwise we'll also turf the weapons, I think. Sure. Gift of Death. Yeah, I guess... What does the unholy thing do again? Oh, right, you can do more damage against creatures of good alignment. Maybe we'll keep it then. It's not heavy, so sure. Light Mace. Long Shack Bane. Oh, right, the monastic comma is what Shania, or whatever her name is, gave us. Right. Sure. Robe of Air, Vest of 100 pockets. We'll drop that off as well. Or maybe I should keep it so that we can use it when we need to. Nah, I think we're probably fine. Alright, so I need to go speak to the Kayesi twins. Actually, I do wonder if maybe we've collected enough of the Cypress Queen stuff. Right. Cloak of whatever. Armor of the Saber-Tooth Courage. Dark Commander's Gloves. Oh, there we go. Oh, we can actually restore the Forest Knight's bracers. Sure. Let's do it up. The storyteller caresses the metal shards with the tips of his fingers. A noble man once wore these bracers. He was not the only one to do so. Restoring them would be an honor for any master. I shall impart a remnant of my gift in them to ensure this artifact story lasts forever. I cannot let it be forgotten. And my gift will, of course, come straight from the source. My dick. I know you think it's old and crusty, but... Oh. No story? Forest Knight's bracers. Oh, okay. Where is it? Where are my... Okay, so let me read this properly. Okay, not the backstory. Although, I mean, if you guys are interested, you can just pause and read it. But, I think that's a lot to go through. Whenever the wearer of these bracers would become shaken, its effect is negated. The wearer gains a +2 morale bonus to attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks for the same duration. So, that's when they become shaken. Whenever the wearer would become frightened or confused, they start laughing instead, as if under the effects of the hideous laughter spell for the same duration. Okay, so I guess that's better than being confused. They also grant the wearer the ability to use the effect of freedom of movement spell for 1 minute once per day. Whenever a Fae successfully hits the wearer, that Fae has to succeed at a will saving throw or become frightened for 1d4 rounds. Wow. Interesting. Alright, I don't see any downside, so... Oh. I guess Fabrosi's already got the Forest Knight's thingamajig. Okay, then maybe we give it to... Yeah. Unfortunately, we'll have to prioritize the braces of armor. Not to Tristan, maybe to Lindsay? Or... Perfect. Wait. Oh, right. Not the same as gloves. Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. Okay. Anything else? Brought some relics. Warwick's pendant, token of the Dryad. Halden warrior dog tag. Oh, the Cypress Queen. Okay. Such clear air. I feel like I'm back in my home woods. I can feel the wind tussling my hair. Oh, my pubic hair. I mean, the storyteller takes a deep breath and laughs joyfully. Yes, now I recognize to whom this once belonged. I hear laughter and the singing of the forest folk. Do you wish to learn the story of the Cypress Queen, Fabrosi Cortez? Saddled horses neigh and stomp their hooves. They cannot wait to travel distant lands, searching for the legendary treasures of an ancient empire. I can feel the bravery of the previous owner, how she dreamt of adventure and fame. Do you wish to know where her path led her? I certainly do. Then listen, and I shall recount to you the story of the search for the gemstone cave. I'd be happy to trade the whole set of items for this story. Can you hear it calling to us? Let us hurry. Okay, so... Tell me the story of the Cypress Queen. Sure. I hear the noise of the capital. Merchants shouting, horses neighing, soldiers' armor clanking. But this is all from far away, from beyond the tall walls of the palace garden. The noise is barely audible, though, through the lush vegetation, but here, in the cool stillness, I can hear two lovers whisper beneath the shadow of an ancient cypress tree. I'm not one of them. I'm just a frail cypress twig. I'm definitely not perving on those two lovers making love. Oh no, definitely not touching myself as they do it. Definitely not. These two cannot be together. She's a queen and he is her loyal knight. Perhaps too loyal. I wish she would be a little less loyal and love me too, but their love could not be kept secret for long. The king ordered the knight executed, but the knight managed to slip away to the wilderness of the Gnarl Marches in the Stolen Lands. He hid there, away from civilization, with only animals and birds to keep him company. To remember his lost home, he brought a cypress twig with him and planted it in front of his hut. The tree took root, and the knight spent long hours talking to the cypress, imagining it was his queen, and fucking it. One day I answered. Since ancient times, these lands have been home to the Fae, so it's little surprise that a dryad would be born within the tree. We became friends. He told me of his homeland and his beloved queen, and their merry life at court. The celebrations, the parades, the tournaments. I wanted so badly to see it all with my own eyes. Like I saw their lovemaking with my own eyes. So why couldn't you go see the city for yourself? Oh, I think I may have forgotten to ask about the, cave. Alright, so why couldn't you go see the city for yourself? You know not? Dryads are bonded to their trees. You fucking idiot. How could you not know this basic thing? We cannot stay far from them, and even if we could, our kind tends to not get favorable reactions from humans. They find us too strange, too alien, and too fucking malicious going around pranking people by turning their anuses inside out. I doubt I would have been warmly received in any city. Did you fall in love? Of course not. That very thought is shameful. The knight remained faithful to his true love till the end of his days. As for me, well, I was born from a twig of the cypress tree under which the knight and the queen's love story began. I like to think I was a child of their love. In a way, I never told him directly, but I always considered the knight to be like a father to me. If only I could have gotten that dick. Oh man, would have fulfilled all my fantasies. Anyways, so what happened next? So I decided I want to be a queen myself, and why not? After all, the Green Mother gave me my fair share of beauty and magic, and the knight taught me all about how to rule a country. The Green Mother is one of the eldest, a divine, fey creature of tremendous power, able to reshape the very fabric of the First World on a whim. She's probably the most manipulative entity of the First World, often using seduction to get her way. She's a creature of great beauty, typically depicted as tall with green hair and a combination of elf, dryad, and nymph characteristics. Wait, that's not the nymph lady that I was hitting on before, is it? No, I can't imagine that she would be. Anyways, I organized a celebration. All the local fae were invited. I had no idea there were so many of my kin in the neighborhood. Everyone came. My milkshake brought all the nymphs to the yard. Shy nymphs, merry satyrs and their reed pipes, tender nixies, leprechauns with their fancy buckled hats and shiny boots. The celebration lasted 3 days, and my guests enjoyed it so much that every one of them proclaimed to me their queen at the end. I wasn't establishing prisons or taxes or other nasty things common in human courts, but the social life of my court was vibrant enough to make any human monarch jealous. And what kind of functions did your fake court conduct? So your kingdom wasn't real? It was just basically a game? What functions did your fake court conduct? We did all kinds of amazing things. Sometimes I hosted dances that went on all night, or held tournaments in which satyrs would entertain the audience, kicking each other for their right to kiss me. There were even parades organized for the local animals. Just imagine, deer, boars, and bears all marching in lines. Even those fae who initially didn't like the idea of a kingdom were happy with things. I think we may have been the only kingdom in the world built without a single drop of blood spilled, built on a foundation of joy and happiness, and lots of orgies. So it was just a game? What an odd suggestion. How about your country? Is it real? Could it just be a game with complicated rules and high stakes? Our kingdom was as real as we were. And then what? Life in the woods changed a lot over time, and the knight changed too. After spending so much time around fae and meditating alone in nature, he became more religious and built a shrine to Erastil with his own hands. I mean, he only had 2 hands, so, I mean, they only he stacked them on top of each other. They didn't really make much of a wall. Anyways, rumors spread around the city, the area of some hermit or saint living in the swamps. Though, to be frank, there wasn't anything saintly about him, as far as I could tell. He introduced himself as Ben Kenobi, but I could tell there was something more to him. But people started coming to meet him, and over time a small village grew around the shrine, built by people in search of a new life. As word spread of our kingdom in the woods, some people were surprised, while some just smiled knowingly. After all, the idea of a kingdom was familiar to humans, so fae living in a kingdom made them seem less alien, less strange and scary. So we began living side by side in peace. Sometimes fae would visit humans just to share a cup of tea, and sometimes there were even unions that resulted in children. Human children with some of the magic of the fae. Some of those children deserve their own legends, but those are other stories for another time. Human monarchs are quite different from their subjects. They have eyes everywhere. Their arms are long and their memories longer. Have you ever played Bloodborne? It's like that boss, Vacuous Rom, with eyes everywhere. My god, that thing was nasty, and I like spiders too. As the village grew, news of the location of a disgraced knight made its way to the king. Eventually, a small but heavily armed group of king's men arrived at the village, demanding the hermit knight leave with them immediately. The villagers, both human and fey, were ready to fight to defend him, but the knight followed his unwelcome guests voluntarily. He said he wanted to avoid bloodshed, and he was old and longed to see his homeland and his beloved queen once again, even if it ended with his execution. So the knight was taken away. Everyone grieved for him, myself especially, but as time passed, the pain subsided, as it tends to. Both the village and the Fey Kingdom happily lived in peace for many years after. So, what happened to the village and the kingdom after that? Yeah, what happened to the knight? I know not. This story was not about him. The Dryad never saw him again. Perhaps he slipped away from the guards and accomplished a slew of heroic deeds afterwards. Or perhaps his captors executed him on the first day, simply taking the king his head. Or maybe he died on the executioner's block, but in the city of his youth, gazing once more upon his queen, older now, but as beautiful as ever. Or maybe the city had changed beyond recognition, and his queen had died years ago, and he realized too late that this was his true home, that his true home was a village built in the swamps. Or maybe the king saw the pious old man standing before him and shared nothing in common with the bold young upstart that has impinged his honor so long before, and thus pardoned him. Alas, alas, I have no fucking clue. Don't ask me stupid questions. We have no way of knowing what really happened. Time is spared not even the kingdom when where the story started, so your guess is as good as mine. So what happened to the village and the kingdom after that? If your wonder is strong enough, you could visit the Gnarl Marches yourself and ask the locals. I suspect someone there would know what happened next, but this story was about how the Fey Kingdom was established, and that story is over. So leave me alone! Thank you for your story, storyteller. I guess that's it then? No other stories? Cool. Sure. Well, thanks for bearing with me for that. We just gained a fuck ton more money. Very nice. But we still need to go see Canera and do kingdom management stuff, I think. Alright, so hopefully the Kayesi twins will actually have something to say. I don't know how much time needs to pass. I do kind of wish that it was kept in my journal, but I guess it would be kind of weird to have Lindsay scribe my romantic affairs with the Kayesi, or with Canera, I guess. Cause wait, I guess my companions still don't know that the Kayesi twins are actually two different people, right? Yeah, I think they're still unaware. I wonder if they'll ever find out. Hello. I've spoken to you before, I believe. Yes? Nothing new to say, right? Sure. Alright, cool. Let me check in this box again. Oh, right, nothing. Unacceptable. Alright, Canera? Ooh. Kaliki's poems. Shadows. What was her voice again? Kaliki is... Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, 1 second. Let me just pull up my list of voices here. There we go. Sorry about that. Kaliki is... This town in a foreign land has a narrow twisting street with lanterns hanging on the left and right. As I walked the twisting path between, and the lantern shines behind my my back, I leave one shadow on the wall and leave another on the road. Since the day I settled here, every evening when the lantern shines and the shadows dance in the light, I walk this narrow twisting street, and you know why. To get some dick. Kaliki's poems, Winter. I learned today that northern skies have a desert sand of their own called snow. Touched by the sunlight, it outshines any gem I've ever seen with my dazzled eyes. Oh, how can all these people live with all this beauty yet pay it no heed, when skies throw such treasure to their very feet? I waited patiently until no one was watching, then stole a handful of snow and ate it. Do you laugh? Now I know the taste of the north, and I like it. Next, I will eat an icicle. Oh, that's so cute. I hope you didn't eat the yellow snow. Or the purple snow that comes out of Fabrosi's dick. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to take these poems, though. Oh, that's locked. Step. Alright, I'm gonna take these poems. Sure. And I guess we'll speak to Canera? Wait. Can I talk to Kaliki instead? How do I change the two? Oh, wow. I guess we actually hadn't spoken to her. Oops. The tiefling girl taps her foot, irritated, then leans towards you and whispers loudly.
Did you see that? My sister has all 3 of her empty-headed friends right on our tail. They used to follow her around in Qadira, but they know both of us very well. Couldn't we just send them away somewhere? Oh, and by the way, hello!
We'll have no more intimate encounters from now on? Abso-fucking-lutely not. I want to ask you a few questions about your past.
That's reasonable. Who wouldn't want to know about their subjects and companions?
Tell me of the story of you and your sister from the beginning. Sure. Oh, had I never spoken to her about this? Really? Okay, well, I think we're gonna have another very talky episode, so I do apologize for that.
The beginning of this story is quite unexciting. My sister and I were born in Qadira, a place most unsuitable for tieflings. The people there honor the radiant Sarenrae, and think of themselves as guardians of the good. Sorry, I almost said guardians of the galaxy. Of course, no one threw us in a dungeon right away or tried to kill us for no reason, but we could forget about the social status. It's impossible to rise from rags in that country, where they value connections and reputation more than gold. Since birth, they looked on us as evil creatures, vicious and unpredictable. Not that it's entirely false.
Kynera smiles coyly.
But what is truth, generally speaking? I've always known what I was worth, and what lot I deserved. If superstitions stand in the way of achieving a goal, that's no reason to shed a tear. Better to not use the same superstitions to your own ends. I must say, in Qadira, they idolize Aasimar almost as passionately as they hate tieflings. So I thought that with a little effort, I could pass as one, and my mastery of fire could be mistaken as a sign of Sarenrae's goodwill.
But what about the horns and stuff? I'm assuming that Aasimar don't have horns and tails.
Of course, a masquerade of that sophistication required a little outside help, and I found it. I made a contract with a resourceful devil who calls himself the Forefather. He wove an illusion over me and my sister, hiding our tiefling features from everyone. I hope this doesn't shock you. It's not that I wanted to bind myself to a powerful and devious creature, but what choice did I have? To wash bowls at a caravanserai until the end of days? That wouldn't just be a waste of the precious gem that I am. I'd be burdened with caring for Kaliki, that naive walking virtue who is totally unfit for a hard life.
A contract with the devil that cannot stand. You tried to fix an injustice that came upon you as a curse from the cradle that cannot be understood and forgiven. No one is inherently good or evil, only our intentions are. I hope you made the most of that contract. That's what matters.
Yes, definitely. Of course I did. I would have done so much more, but as always, nothing went according to plan. Anyway, it's all in the past now. The contract was annulled by my death, and now I'm free to live as I wish.
Your death? What was the agreement that you made with the devil?
I'd have to spend the whole evening telling you all the details. Contracts require thoughtfulness and accuracy, especially ones like this. But to put it simply, I was to do as he commanded, and in return he granted me a powerful illusion, which would make my sister and I indistinguishable from Emberkin, descendants of Perry. The contract included a number of caveats and limitations. In particular, the tasks that devil would give me could do me no harm. The contract didn't involve my soul. Arr! On the contrary, it bound me until my death, but no longer.
What assignments did the devil give you?
You'd be amazed. They included fighting evil. The Forefather comes from a line of apostate devils or Demavigas. They live for one goal only, to turn people's souls away from serving any god but Asmodeus. Our Demaviga made a nest for himself in Qadira long ago, finding special pleasure in enslaving the servants of Sarenrae. Nothing helps to turn souls away from a faith better than the fanatics of the faith. You have no idea, Fabrosi Cortez, how often a zealous servant of the god, of the good, in their struggle against evil, has pushed others in the arms of that very same evil. That's why the Forefather sent me to serve the followers of the cult of the Dawnflower. Unlike the old Church of Sarenrae, these cultists celebrate the goddess more for her warrior aspect than for her mercy. My duties included seeking out secret cults of demon and daemon worshippers, and other springs of evil in their unswept lands of Qadira, real or imaginary, questions, suspicions, public trials, 1 or 2 exemplary executions, and fear sank its claw into the hearts of the weak and doubtful. How can a good goddess allow this? What if I'm next? Those who entertain such doubts would soon hear a knock on their door from a messenger of hell, offering a simple solution: protection and prosperity in return for their souls. That's how I aided the legions of hell, by working under Sarenrae's sunny banner. What was it like living disguised as Asamirs? We've lived for a few years under this disguise, gaining a certain status, affluence, and crowds of gullible suitors. In time, I found a patron from among the followers of the cult of the Dawnflower, a man of great wealth with a personal army of mercenaries who roam the lands of Qadira night and day, seeking out monsters and those who worship them. I quickly became his confidant and joined that army, all as the forefather desired. Perhaps this is why the devil agreed to give us the appearance of Asamirs. Everything was going perfectly, yarr! But then Kaliki, that silly child, got herself mixed up in a band of tiefling renegades, who were too cowardly and stupid to achieve anything in their lives but their own wits. They organized something like a secret society, and gathered in the evenings in their huts. They spoke of opening everyone's eyes and making them treat the outcasts with dignity. Sooner or later, they would have done something stupid and gotten themselves caught, and brought my sister down with them. So I helped them a little, and put my patron's pledge on people on their track. If only I could have kept Kaliki from her foolishness. On the night of the raid, for some reason I told her the truth. I thought I could explain to her that her actions were threatening our secret. I thought she could see reason. But nothing works out as one plans. She hurried off to warn her friends and fell into the hands of the cult of the Dawnflower. Her disguise was unmasked, and with it, my own as well. Oh, sands and skies, I can't imagine the rage of my noble patron felt. His Aasimir confidant turned out to be a treacherous tiefling. I had no interest in learning how far he'd go in his rage, and immediately set off to flee. Alas, as soon as they found out what happened, the remaining members of a cult of demon worshippers who had once helped to disperse quickly tracked me down. They summoned a soul eater who cut my life short, and my story was at its end. Tell me about how you were resurrected. You better ask Kaliki about that one. When she learned of my death, she pleaded to Nethys, the god of unparalleled powers, and his herald agreed to return me to life. But in the state that we're now, only one of us can be in the material plane at a time. Meanwhile, the others sleep in a special demiplane. So, what happened at Jamandi's mansion? You know the fun part of our story. When Nethys returned me to life, the poor hungry soul eater started following my trail again. He cannot discover me, so long as I live disguised as Kayesi, but he keeps trying. That's one reason why my sister and I never stay in one place for long. We moved north, living here and there until we reached Restov. Lady Jamandi's offer was simply too tempting. Bring some pathetic bandits to heal and receive a barony in return. Of course, Kayesi could never be a baroness, but the adventure itself was an intriguing opportunity. Besides, I was in desperate need of distraction. So I showed up at the reception, made some valuable connections. Canera locks eyes with you. I witnessed the attack of the unlucky assassins, but then unfortunately missed out on all the fun. The moment I ran through the fire at the mansion, I was carried away to the demiplane, and Kaliki came forth to deal with the consequences. You know the rest. I guess, in the beginning part, maybe we could have noticed that her eyes and her posture were changing in the portrait or something. I found out what I wanted, thank you. That's a lot more to talk about, but I'd like to know more about you. Of course, many do. How does it work, your living in turns? By the power of Nethys, my sister and I cannot meet, for as soon as one of us appears in the material plane, the other one is immediately spirited away to our demiplane. There we sleep until it's time to switch back. The demiplane, by the way, is full of elemental energy, which is wonderful for restoring our strength. It's a pity this ability came after we'd paid such a heavy price. I would have avoided my painful death, and I long to see my sister again and singe her hair to show my gratitude for everything. Despite her vitriol, Canera sighs with sorrow and seeming tenderness. The demiplane nourishes us and keeps us from all kinds of trouble, but the price, it's hard to live and make plans, when at any moment you can be pulled away from reality, only to return after a few days or even weeks. I'm glad that, thanks to you, we now have at least learned to control this process a little. So, do you like it in the Stolen Lands? I prefer large and bustling cities to backwaters, but on the other hand, the chance to build up a whole state from nothing, it's so tempting. I don't like chaos, though I've learned that at times I won't be able to play by the rules. So here's my answer. With some effort and right investments, your dominions might become something someday.
Alright, so tell me about your sister.
We were at our 8th summer when Kaliki, the spring of my solace, got angry at me, chucked a bunch of desert thistles into my hair. I had to cut them out right afterwards. Or maybe not the right. That's what you have to suffer if life rewards you with a sibling. Though I should say, that very evening I burned our favorite dress. With great troubles, great crumbs comes great satisfaction.
Fantastic. So I want to talk to you about what it means to be a tiefling. Sure.
I admit it. You like my horns, or is it the tail?
I do. The horns and the tail, they make you special. How are tieflings born? I'm assuming that we can ask all of these questions. Alright, yeah, I do. The horns and the tail, they make you special.
And that's it?
Kynera slowly sways her tail. I've known to spark
curiosity.
How are tieflings born? I'm assuming I don't know my own origins.
We are born as if an ancestor laid with a powerful and evil outsider, be it a devil, a demon, or some other dark creature. Many mortals do this, believe me, for either for power or for pleasure. This heritage can be hidden for many generations, and it can manifest in many ways. It's difficult to find two similar tieflings.
Alright, so which outsider do you and your sister descend from?
From a devil. I can't even guess which one. Of all the infernal beings worshipped in Kadira, the whore queen Mahatala is the most venerated. Secretly, of course, servants of her court frequent these lands, and they leave trails.
Really? Everything is clear, thank you. Alright, so I'm actually gonna go continue speaking to her, so that we can, I guess, get through this conversation in this episode, and then move on to other stuff in the next episode. I may even speak to her sister too, so be prepared for that. Tell me about Kadira.
Kadira is a part of the Padishah Empire of Kalesh, a great thriving state. Don't think me rude, but the northern states are but a pale shadow of my homeland. Only Taldor at its height could compete with us, though it's long since lost its power. My land is wealthy, powerful, and full of opportunities for anyone cunning enough to seize them. It's a pity they were all devoted to Serendre, and the whole array of superstitions that go along with it. Look at your golden-haired boy priest.
Oh, Tristan. Okay, I was like, wait, Jod? Jod is a boy? I guess maybe to people who live very long.
And you'll see at once what exactly makes it living in Kadira so unbearable, despite all its grandeur.
Kynera wrinkles her little nose. Alright, so don't you think the disk of the eclipse reacted strangely? Do we know how it was supposed to react?
Maybe. My sister and I have tried to figure out what happened, but failed. We need a real specialist in this sort of magic. A specialist like I can't even imagine. I can definitely say that the disc hasn't been destroyed. It seems to have become a part of my connection with my sister, helping us to move between the material plane and our demi-plane. We'll continue to explore this new ability. Maybe we'll learn more at some point.
Tell me, what made you stay here after we found your relic?
A fair question, you see. There's an important detail about how I died and returned to life. I was killed by a repulsive creature called a Soul Eater. After a spellcaster aims it at its victim, the wretch will chase it tirelessly and endlessly. But when I returned to life, the Soul Eater lost its prey. But after still chasing me, and might, but it's still chasing me, and might show up at any time. It would be much easier for me if I could meet it here, surrounded by experienced monster hunters, ready to protect the poor fugitive from danger.
I see. I won't let anyone hurt you. We'll deal with the beast if it shows up. The lives of my companions is more to me than can be expressed in words. I will try to help you. And why, I wonder, should I protect you? I won't let anyone hurt you. We'll deal with the beast if it shows up. Sure. That seems a bit more friendly than the lives of my companions, which seems more generic.
I like your confidence. I have a penchant for the strong and confident. Do you now?
Would you like to spend some time together?
You do realize, sooner or later, you and I will just burn this house to the ground with the heat of passion, and then the entire capital.
Whoa! Fantastic! Hey, nice! So, did some time pass or what?
You do like playing with fire, don't you?
You're damn fucking right. But let me talk to your sister. Yeah, now that we've done banging. I'm thinking that time did not pass. No, I remember it being 1330 when I started this. Wait. Oh, maybe I need to go back and then come back in? Alright, maybe? Okay, let's try that out then. Sure. Fabrosi, let's see. I guess... Wait. Okay, good. So we can do that again. We just need to head back out and come back in. I'd like to talk to your sister. With that stiff. Canera wrinkles her nose, but seems strangely saddened. Very well, I'll get her. So long. A tiefling girl greets you warmly, but seems a little distracted. I'm glad to see you at my hearth. She bites her lip and adds in a whisper. Have you seen the sweet teeth? I can't get them out of my house, and I'm so scared they'll suspect something and reveal our secret. Canera's and mine. I wish we could keep them busy somewhere out of town, but anyway, welcome. Alright, so there appears to be a lot to talk about, so I do apologize, but I'll just try to get through this as quickly as possible. Oh, look at her pet reptile! It's so cute. Alright, so I'd like to know, I have a few questions about your past. Ask me anything. We owe you much, and being open with you is the least I could do to repay you. Tell me the story of you and your sister from the beginning. My sister and I were born in Kadira, the country of the radiant Serenray, where we tieflings are not very welcome. But for my sister, this was more of a challenge than a barrier. She wanted respect, power, and wealth. Things we were unlikely to get, being who we are, but she found a way. The people of Kadira revere the blood of the skies with the same fanaticism with which they distrust the blood of hell. Asamirs, especially Emberkin, are welcome guests in any house. Pretend to be one of them, and all the doors are open to you. I didn't want to participate in this masquerade, but my sister insisted. We played upon our resistance to fire and a gift of controlling this force of nature. Both are often taken as the signs of Serenray's goodwill. But it was not enough to entirely hide our essence and passes in Emberkin, and Canera asked for help. She asked a master of deception and illusion. Kaliki frowns. She obviously wishes to get through this part of the story as quickly as possible. We left our native desert, crossed half the country to avoid accidentally crossing paths with anyone from our tribe, and set off for a new life, in a new skin. What made you flee Kadira? Trouble, Kaliki says quietly. My sister and I took different paths. Canera was able to earn the trust of a more powerful patron, one of Serenray's fanatics, a member of the cult of the Dawnflower. His mercenaries hunted down secret cults and monsters day and night. Meanwhile, I found a group of castaways who reminded me of my sister and I as children, tieflings and genie spawn. We gathered in secret to share our sorrows and dream of finding our place in the sun. Time passed and these gatherings became more bitter. We yearned to prove that monster blood does not make us monsters. We spoke of how we should unite and enter the great games of Kadirian aristocracy, supporting those who are ready to accept us as equals and bringing down their opponents. We planned to use me as a cover, a beautiful Emberkin, and who would be the voice of the castaways? The girl lowers her head. One evening, my sister came to me, full of careless grace, and also careless whispers. She started playing her saxophone. She told me that there was to be a raid on our secret meeting that very night. I had to stay home and not even think of warning the others. It wasn't hard to guess how she found out. The raid was to be led by the followers of the cult of the Dawnflower, fanatics who fancy themselves cleansing flames, saving the world from evil. Canera's patron, first among them. At that moment, I realized my sister loved me so much that she was ready to set aside her aspirations and warn me of the danger. But I also realized something else. Canera was ready to sacrifice any number of innocent lives to get what she wanted. I ran away after yelling in her face that she was a monster. I left her to warn my friends. It's the last time I saw my sister alive. I tried to save my friends from the raid, but came face to face with the wizards from the cult of the Dawnflower. They were able to dispel the illusion that protected me and found out I was a tiefling. My secret was revealed, along with my sister's. What a shock it must have been for her patron to find out that a clever tiefling was serving at her side, disguised as a righteous Asimar. Sorry. There were no worse deed in Kadira than disgracing your patron. Canera knew this well and tried to flee, terrified of his wrath, but she couldn't get away. Trouble came to her from a place she didn't expect, my butthole. Ask her about the details if you want. I lack the strength to talk about it. The truth is, I betrayed our secret, and my sister died because of it. I was able to bring her back to life, but bitterness has scorched my heart, and will be a part of me until my death. Neutral good, I sympathize with both of you. Chaotic good, don't blame yourself. How could you sit at home knowing that your friends would be captured and dragged to a torture chamber? Neutral good, lawful neutral. How could you put the life and safety of your sister at risk for a bunch of troublemakers of all things? Neutral, you and your sister seem to have done everything you could to destroy each other's lives. All this could have been avoided if only you were able to agree. Lawful evil, it's hard to imagine a more foolish act. It's a sad outcome, but quite predictable. I actually agree with Kaliki on this. Yeah. I mean, I think if it were my companions in this situation, I would most likely do the same. But that's the polar opposite of my alignment. But that is a personal belief, I guess. Sure. I don't know the answer, Fabrosi Makotes, but I do see that my good heart led my sister, jewel of my heart, to a death. I still cannot tell whether I was right or not, or how I would act if I faced with a similar choice. I wish Kynera and I were more alike. We nearly destroyed each other after failing to accept each other's wishes and the paths we chose. Sometimes I feel that the life we now live is the best we could hope for. We can never meet, can never share each other's sorrows, but at least I don't have to be upset about her cruelty towards others, and she about my softness and recklessness. Alright, so how did you end up living in turns? After my sister almost got my friends killed, and I in my turn brought the wrath of a former patron down upon her, Kynera died as she fled from him. In terror, I could only pray to the higher powers, and the Arcanothane, Nethys, his herald, answered this prayer. I couldn't believe it. When she answered my prayer, she promised to bring Kynera back to life on 2 conditions. We would never be able to meet again, and we must keep the secret from everything that happened. Except for all the people that we've told. Like you, for example. By Nethys' power, my sister and I received our special connection. We cannot be in the same time and reality simultaneously. While one of us is in the material plane, the other one sleeps in the demi-plane, one specially created for us. The divine creature made us agree to these mysterious conditions, and what's even more mysterious, we weren't punished when you discovered a secret. Okay, but I think I can hear a storm murmuring on the horizon. We might yet have to pay for our faults. But come what may, at least I did everything I could to tear my sister from the arms of death. How did you end up at Jamandi's mansion? Oh, I cannot answer that question in much detail. The Kayesi met at the reception in Rostov was Kynera. At that time, I'd been sleeping in our demiplane for over a month. I didn't even know my sister wanted to join the expedition that Lady Jamandi was sending. And then suddenly, I was thrown out into reality, in the middle of a burning mansion with assassins dashing about, and the Sword Lord fighting monsters in the Grand Hall. Kynera and I usually keep a diary to tell each other in detail what happened during the day, but I didn't exactly have time to read it, and I doubt she had time to write anything during the attack. I ran into the hole and tried to help Jamandi, but then you and your companions appeared and stole my thunder. You son of a bitch, you kill stealer! We have a special help for you. We held back the attack, and you and Tartuccio began accusing each other of spying. Meanwhile, I still couldn't understand what was happening, or where I was. I had to pretend to distrust both sides of your argument. Oh, I see. Or I might have given myself away too easily, and I had to protect our secret. It was one of the conditions of our agreement with Nethys. You had me racking my brains, a girl shows up acting like she wanted to be my friend, and then next moment turns her nose up like she's seeing me for the first time. It was clear from the very beginning that something was up with Kayesi. I personally did not notice at all, but yeah, I was like, what? Weren't you in support of me before? Kaliki's smiles faintly. Then you can begin to imagine what it's like for us. People approach me all the time and start talking like they were my friends. And I just stand there, trying to remember lines from the diary. Is it the gnome with blue hair, a new admirer who has twice given me flowers, or the gnome banker who wishes to discuss investments in the tours of Levin's mines? I found out what I wanted, thank you. So let's talk about how you are now. Oh my god. Do you worship Nethys? Tell me about him. Nethys is the god of magic. There is no limits to his power. Kaliki speaks with awe. He was born human, but achieved such unparalleled mastery of magic that he gained divine power. He is the embodiment of paradoxes, contradictions, and making the impossible come true. He's not the CEO of Paradox, don't worry. I called on him at the moment of my greatest need, and he, through his herald, helped me when all the kind and merciful gods fell silent. But I'm no naive worshipper. The gods, especially him, are powerful and unpredictable. Besides, he's hardly interested in my gratitude, but I do honor those who help me. So who's your savior, the Arcanothane? Nethys is herald in his creation. She's a living whirlwind of magical energy, an amazing and powerful creature. She often takes interests in the business of mortals and manifests Nethys' will. In our case, I think she's done both. The Arcanothane wanted to intervene and help, but she also told us that Nethys was aware of what happened. It's so strange to think that a deity has turned his eye on you, if only for a moment. Very true. Tell me about your sister. A smile, sincere but sad, appears in Kaliki's face. My sister and I, we are twins, but we're as different as day and night. She was named Kanera, which means silent flame in our tribe's language, and I'm named Kaliki, silent storm. A very great video game. Unfortunately, I didn't like the part where they introduced the Panzer clans and whatnot. Kanera was born a few minutes before me. I suppose she just elbowed me out of the way in our mother's womb to become the firstborn. Being the first, that's what she always craved. I never felt offended by it, though. Whenever the storm clouds gathered above our heads, heralding danger and trouble, my sister walked forward one step, tightly holding my hand. Right, so that's your backstory, but how does living in turns with your sister work? While one of us is in the material plane, the other sleeps in a demi-plane created especially for us. I realize I'm basically just retreading information that we already know, but I want to make sure that I speak to her about everything. There we sleep and sup upon elemental energy. When one of us enters the material plane, the other disappears. Until recently, we couldn't even control the moment when we switched. It seemed to happen randomly, and usually while we slept, but sometimes in broad daylight. Now, thanks to you, we have a little more control over what's happening. It's been a great relief. How do you live with these switches? It's not easy. Nethys made us agree to keep our story secret. In everyone else's eyes, we must remain one creature. Hayesi, a whimsical outlander with strange abilities. We keep a diary describing our everyday life in detail, telling each other about all our new acquaintances to help us protect our secret. If someone ever happens to see us switch, we say it's a special skill that allows us to travel through the elemental plane to replenish our powers. We were lucky to live in a world full of miracles. It's not hard to convince people of such magic. Ah, I see. So people do see you go into a portal and come back out, but, right. But what about the color of your eyes? I'm assuming that's fairly noticeable, no? Do you like it in the Stolen Lands? Yes, I may long for my native country, but this river land brings peace to my soul. I enjoy watching the clumsy ducklings struggling to go down the lake, and the dragonflies flying over water as it flashes with glints of sunlight. I'm glad to have seen all this, though the road that brought me here was a road of sorrow. That road led you to me, and I must admit, I'm glad it did. May it be a road of joy from now on. Enough sighing for the old days. There are more meaningful ways to spend your energy. Yes, let's flirt with her too. Kaliki casts a quick glance at you, then sighs faintly. I'm not sure I read your words correctly, but I will ask you not to repeat them. My life hangs by a thread, held by a devious devil and a powerful deity. I do not belong to myself, and I do not wish to become attached to anyone. Wow, okay. I found a piece of paper with your poems. Sweet Lindsay writes real poems. Mine are no more than an attempt to talk to myself, and sometimes to the sister that I can no longer hear or see. Does Kanera read the poems? I think your poems are beautiful. Do you mind if I read them from time to time? I don't know if I can say all of these, so I'm gonna say this first. Or maybe I should say this. Well, just in case, do you mind if I read them from time to time? The girl is a little embarrassed. As you wish. I don't like to hide things from those who are close to me, and I have done this too often. Yeah, we can't talk about the poems again, so maybe I should have asked about Kanera reading them. I really wish I could actually see if maybe a dialogue option would take me back and I can't come back or whatever, but alright. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you about what it means to be a tiefling. I think we all have different experiences. What would you like to discuss? How do tieflings come into the world? We are what happens when mortals mix with blood with evil outsiders. Mostly demons, daemons, or as with me and my sister, devils. This heritage can manifest through many generations and can be a cruel blow for the parents of a tiefling. Kaliki frowns. As you probably know, there's hardly a corner in Galarian where the birth of someone like me is considered a welcome gift. Many think that evil literally runs in tieflings' blood, owing to the heritage of their ancestors. Those who think so are both right and wrong. Your fate is not written by your blood alone. Surrendering to the temptation of evil is a choice every tiefling must make for themselves. Alright, no more questions. Tell me about Qadira. It's a beautiful land, but quite unlike the Stolen Lands. My sister and I grew up in a place dominated by the desert. I've often heard from travelers that such landscapes depresses them, but there's nowhere I feel more at home. I actually really like desert landscapes, not gonna lie. Personally, that is. Sand drifts under the sun, where life hiding where you never expected, the lush green of a suddenly revealed oasis. There are austere lands, but can be breathtaking. The cities of Qadira are an endless whirlwind of turmoil and bright colors. Some say the heart and essence of every Qadirian city is its temple to Serenray, ever since our country was blessed by that radiant goddess. But I'd put it differently. The heart of every city is a noisy market with its tents in every color you could imagine. Most of the city's life happens at the market. People go there not only to trade, but also to have fun, negotiate, and spin their intrigues. Take away the market, and what's left of Qadira? So the bazaar. Interesting. It's strange what happened with the disk of the eclipse. Ancient forces can be mysterious. I thought we'd need to spend a lot of time studying the properties of the disk before we learned how to use it, but it just worked as soon as we touched it. If I understand its action correctly, it attuned itself to the connection between the material plane and our demi-plane. Now it can move between them at will, and the rest is handled by our strange inner connection. I step into the demi-plane, and Nethys' power transports Qadira from there to the material plane. So why did you remain in my lands after you found and activated the relic? You could have left. I like living here. For the first time since fleeing Qadira, I feel there's a place in the world I can call home, and besides, Kaliki frowns, I probably should have brought this up myself, but I couldn't bring it to myself to do it. I am very, very worried about the forefather, the devil my sister made a contract with, long ago in Qadira. Qadira thinks he's no longer a threat to us, since her death annulled the contract, but I don't believe such a creature can ever leave us in peace. I'd like there to be someone beside me who I can rely on in case he shows up. You can rely on me, we'll find a way to deal with that devil. It's very arrogant to think that I'm going to jump at a chance to protect you. Come on, that's such a douche thing to say. Yeah, rely on me. If things get bad, we'll have to flee again, or we'll put you and your people at great risk. But I believe it's here that we will find the strength to face hell's claims on us. Okay, great. So I've asked you everything, yes? I believe so. Alright, I'm gonna talk to your sister again. As you wish. Now, thanks to you, we can at least switch when we want to. Kaliki closes her eyes and focuses, calling to the other plane. I've asked you everything as well, right, Qadira? I believe so. Just gonna make double sure. Alright, I guess I'll just leave Qadira here and be done with it. Sure. Fantastic.
Our home is always open to you, and please do me a favor. Send the sweet teeth off on some errands so they'll stop bothering me.
Do I actually need to speak to them? Oh, we do. We need to talk to the sweet teeth and try to find a way to spare Kaisi of their troublesome presence. Sure. Oh, so Lindsay's writing that in her journal. I guess I'm actually saying that it's the Kaisi twins and not the Qadira slash Kaliki. What was their voice again?
Look, we have a noble guest, but come to think of it, it's us who are the guests in the Baron. Anyway, it's a great honor.
It would be better for you to stay away from the capital for a while. Let's see if we can complete my task.
Give us your orders, we won't let you down.
The gnarl marshes are overgrown, they need to be weeded. Take some measurements of Lake Silverstep. I wish to know the exact length of its shoreline. The road through Varnhold to Talon Peak is terribly inconvenient. Try to find the better one past the Tri Kills. The picket fence at Oleg's trading post is tilted. Go there and fix it. On the other hand, I have no errands for you. I don't want to do anything dangerous for them because I don't want them to die. Maybe the picket fence at Oleg's trading post? The road through Varnhold to Talon Peak is terribly inconvenient. Actually, yeah, I do remember it took a long time to get to Varnhold. So maybe? I don't know if it really matters. Alright, I'm gonna say the picket at Oleg's trading post, because I don't want them to hurt themselves and die. But I'm assuming nothing's gonna actually come of this. Alright, just do the trading post.
Tilted. We'll fix it up and paint it in no time.
Grabbing their travel bags, the young tieflings run away. Sure. Bye. I hope I did the right thing, though. Oh, the Baron sent the Sweet Teeth to fix the fence at Oleg's trading post. I hope Oleg forgives us. Alright, Canera, I've done as you asked. That's it? Okay, can I then talk to your sister? Maybe your sister has something to say? No, I guess not. Alright, well, I'm really hoping that I didn't mess up my chances with Canary here, but I guess we'll see. Alright, so before I end the episode, I'm gonna go back to the throne room, and thank you for that reminder to speak to Canera and Kaliki. Yeah, I may not have noticed had you not reminded me, so I really appreciate that reminder. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see. Back here, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm planning on doing the, the rank up stuff in between episodes. Because I'm pretty sure that making sure that all of these things succeed or whatever is gonna take a few tries, so I'll just do that in between episodes. And then I think I'll support Valerie's level up stuff. Yeah, so we'll come back in our next episode, and then this will all be done, and everything will be a triumph or a success at least, and we'll go on from there, hopefully. Alright, so for now, thanks for watching and have a good breakfast!